one time there was 3 or 4 Toots, kids named Toots, nicknames, you know, in town, and it was I don't know. The French people always had nicknames for everybody. You know, Tsilou, Tspierre. It was always Tinoir, Tiblan. It's very, very, very common for, you've known a person for 25, 30 years, never knew what his first name was. Sometimes you'd have difficulty in a telephone book.
I like to play at dances when people are having a good time, you know. That's what it's for, you know. Because when you play and they're all sitting there, it's not that big a deal. But when you play and they're all dancing, then it's serving the purpose that it's meant to be, you know.
Grab your partners for Boston, Tennessee.
Please welcome on from Sanford, Biddeford, Portland, Maine, the finest French-Canadian Western swing band I know of, Ben Guillemette and his ensemble.
Un peu. Combien? Can't see a thing out here. Okay. Si y en a qui parlent français, là, if I need your help, you translate to whoever you're sitting next to you. All right? Great. Les Joies de Québec.
I'll be 61 next month, you know.
Really?
So I'm kind of slowing down.
What'd you do to get such strong muscles? Were you ever a lumberjack or something?
No, I'm a...
No, I mean, really, you're pretty...
No, I was a farmer.
A farmer?
I was a farmer. Worked pretty hard on the farm.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rocks on the farm, you know. And we cleaned up the fields, you know. And some of those rocks are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And every year was the same thing, you know. Then we used to milk the cow, pitch hay, you know. We didn't bale it. We pitched it, you know, up on the load. Then you get in the barn and load it, see? And you know, you work like that all the time. I grew up on the farm.
Who taught you to play the fiddle, Monsieur Guillemette?
Oh, I'm a self-taught.
Mais tu avais entendu les joueurs.
Ah
you,
oui.
You heard other fiddlers, didn't you?
Oui. C'était pas, not, you know, we didn't have a radio or a phonograph. It was whenever you could hear a fiddler, here and there you would, you know. My father really liked the violin, you know. He used to play harmonica, see. But he really liked the violin. I think that I did it more to please him, you know. But I liked it myself. I really loved it, you know.
What we'll have is a fiddle workshop. Well, Ben, when did you start playing the fiddle then?
I was 12 years old. I guess all the French Canadians had some fiddling, you know,
Right.
in the family somewhere.
Well, could you play us another tune?
Yeah, I like to play your waltz.
That'd be great.
You know, we French Canadian really appreciate a waltz too, you know.
Well, if we're lucky,
And
maybe
I do.
somebody will dance it again.
See,
self-composition. You'll never hear it again the same way because he never plays it the same way. That's the bugaboo of playing music by ear. All right, the four of us can't read. I mean, read a newspaper. As far as music is concerned, and it's very difficult to play the same number twice, exact notation, because it all depends how you feel.
My grandmother was quite a singer. My mother's mother was, she used to know quite a number of songs and had an excellent sense of timing. I know because I backed her up quite a number of times.
I learned it from my grandmother, and it was done at home parties. Okay? And a lot of times before the musicians showed up, they did what we call chulity. And in Irish, they call it fiddling with the mouth.
And we call it chulute, which I don't know where the word comes from, but that's the way I heard it from my grandmother. And chulutage or chulute, it was done. People used to do it as like I suppose it's some people yodel. I was born in 1929, so I'm 60, see. So, born right here in Biddeford. My brother and I had an act, my brother Donald and I, and he did harmony, which did a little dancing. We had a little comedy routine and so forth. It was cute because we were small. We had Roll Out the Barrel, that was with the common songs, and then we did a few French songs at the time, and there's a song by the name of Armando that we used to do all the time. He would take the words that were supposed to be sung by a woman. And, my brother Donald would do that part, and I would do the straight part. And so we used to go to school, come back from school, and do our homework or whatever we had to do, take a nap, and somebody'd pick us up at about 7:30 or 7 or whatever, and we'd be back home by 10. We had done our job, and that was it.
So when did the band get together?
I'd say 75, 76, somewhere in that bracket. We have to do this. We don't have to go out and play if we don't feel like it. But yeah. We're doing it for the love of it.
But we play because for the enjoyment of other people also. And if they're having a good time, we are.
Oh, I've known the majority of that band, the son and the father, the one on the piano there, for probably 30 years.
I love to hear Toots sing. I mean, I think that for a musician to be, they've got to go beyond just playing the tunes over and over again. They've got to be entertaining, and they've got to be, put something into it. And I think Toots and Ben both, have great personalities. What a folk artist is today in America, to me, just from my own, personal definition, it's the attitude that a person has. That person would be playing, whether they were playing for big audiences, small audiences, they just love the music, and that's why they're playing.
First time I think I played with Dickie was in 1942. And we got back together steady in 74 or 5 or whatever it was.
When I was like 6 years old, and I've been playing ever since. Too long. Should have quit a long time ago.
How did you pick it up at age 6?
A cousin of mine who was a little older started playing, and I liked it, so I bought one. As a matter of fact, we didn't have enough money, so there was a company called Larkin, and if you sold so much product, you could have a prize. One of the prizes was a concertina, and so I finally sold enough and got this concertina. Then he got a bigger accordion, you know. So I had to have one. My mother could see that I was talented a little bit, you know. So she got me one, and I got a small one. I got bigger and bigger. To finally, what I've got now is 120 bass. That's as big as they come, you know.
All right. Thank you.
All this time you were doing these music gigs, you were working full time?
Oh yes. I never, there's no way in heck you could have earned raise 7 kids playing weekend music. That's for darn sure.
So you've had the same job at...
Well, yes, pretty much. I've always been selling. 27 years with a major insurance company, and before that I sold plumbing and heating, and then when I retired from the insurance company I went back to plumbing and heating, and that's what I'm doing now, and I enjoy it.
Well, the cabinet shop, when I first got married, I started doing that, and that was 38 years ago.
You put down your fiddle for quite a number of years.
Oh yeah, about 20 years I gave it up.
Why'd you pick it up again at 45?
Well, I wasn't feeling good. I was, you know, a lot of pressure, you know, from my work. And the doctor told me, he says, a fiddle, you know, it's like a fiddle. If you take the string, you wind it up real tight, he says, it'll break, you know. I says, I play fiddle. He says, you do? He says, well, he says, why don't you take it up? He says, be good for you. Make you forget, you know, forget your work after you get home. So I did that. I started to scratch up a little bit.
Oh, play it.
I'm talking now the early 50s. If the music had died totally locally, you know, you had everybody was playing in a band with a trumpet and sax and so forth. There was the swing era. So the folklore had practically died or gone underground or what have you. And if you could find a fiddler that was fiddling, there weren't that many around that were working or busy.
There's a lot too much competition. Too much competition in everything.
Oh,
Too much competition in the schools. An awful lot of it. Look at all these kids committing suicide. That depends a lot on that, you know, peer pressure. Musicians, the same thing. It's who's going to be the best.
They're pushing too fast.
They're pushing too fast. They want to outdo the other guy, and they're not playing because they love it.
Yeah, we're kind of lucky. We were in an era that we had the chance to do it because we loved it and at a certain slower pace. You know,
This is where I was born and brought up here, in this house here, see? And we've had many kitchen breakdowns. We growing up, I think Toots was the same as I am in that. We didn't just learn to play music, you know, to go play in a contest and to win a prize. We learned to play music to make people dance.
Today we're going to have some more fiddlers from the French Canadian and French American, Franco-American tradition. This group of fiddlers comes from the area of southern Maine, not just too far from here.
You're next on the stand. And what are you going to play? Rustic dance with these people?
I'm just about strong enough to walk up there.
Are you warm enough? Are you warm enough today?
Oh, sure.
Good. Play a good tune.
Fiddle music has a lot of life in it. It's a tremendous amount of life in it, and the violin is just well suited for that kind of playing. The rhythms that you hear in fiddle music are dance rhythms, and they're really developed over the years for their appeal. I mean, they last because when people hear them, they want to get up and dance.
Finest fiddlers I've heard, Mr. Ben Guillemette.
I will get you. Okay, Jake. See. Okay, we'll play with Jake. I was nervous because probably because they'd asked me to play. I felt that it was an honor for me to be asked to play with these people that were supposedly, real artists at it. I don't think we've heard too many waltzes tonight, so for our last one, I'd like to play another one.
Before you leave tonight, this is great. I mean, I've never got a chance to hear you play all these years. We're always going in other directions. Performers never get to meet each other.
This is Ben Guillemette, the famous fiddler from Sanford, Maine, and I'm Toots Bouthot from Biddeford, Maine.
Actually, the first time I met them is when I was a student at the University of Maine, and I've always met them together. That's I can't imagine them separate. That was my first respect for both of them. Was they drove from Biddeford to Orono, Maine in the worst snowstorm of that year. I remember, it wasn't for the money at all. Ben really did a great job on fiddle, and Toots really, as a showman, sang all these old songs that these people hadn't heard in ages, and together it was fabulous.
Now, I shall do a French song that pertains to an older person that is sitting on a park bench looking at the kids play. And it reminds him of his younger days. And I love the melody. It's Mes cheveux blancs. It means my white hair. Okay, that's the title of the song.
Quoique bien vieux, j'ai le cœur plein de charme. Permettez-moi d'assister à vos jeux pour un vieillard outragé, plein de larmes. Auprès de vous, je me sens plus heureux. Dernier amour de ma vieillesse, venez à moi, petits enfants, je veux de vous une caresse pour oublier mes cheveux blancs.
they each contributed something to that group that the other one wasn't capable of doing, really, so they complemented each other quite a bit. So it's a loss to the musical community, really.
Bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir. Bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir. Bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir. Bonsoir.
You too, huh?
1, 2, 3, 4, testing, 1, 2. Bonsoir, madame. Monsieur.
The guitar work of Ray Gerard kind of fills in a little bit more. Of course, Ray is no stranger because Ray worked with us from 1960 to 63, 64, almost 4 years.
You want to do an old fashioned? Want to do Boston Fancy? Huh? Whatever you want.
Now the band has changed without Ben. Have you feel that it's changed, or what do you?
Well, yes, it's changed somewhat. There's no question about it. It's an era that's gone by.
Takes a pretty little gal, hell in a jug of wine. That's what it takes to make a honky-tonk man. The jukebox whining at a crazy sound. That's when I want to see my honey in town, for I'm a honky-tonk man. And I can't see the stop. Love to give the girls the words, the music of that old jukebox. But my money's all gone, I'm on the telephone, yelling, hey, Mama, can your daddy come home?
As far as getting another fiddler or whatnot, I really don't know. I mean, we're all getting up in age. I mean, it just makes you wonder, how long do you think you can keep up playing, you know?
Like to get another band together?
Oh, yeah, well, I've got a band that I can get through now, but I like to, we know a few fellows there, we'd like to get organized a little bit, play something a little different from what I've been playing, you know. I don't mean I want to give up the old stuff, but I'd like to, you know, get a little bit of that jazz probably. And we'll, you know, broaden the field a little bit.
It hasn't been plugged in yet. This is 18.
19 will be the foot mouse, 1 is guitar and 2 is fiddle. Tough stuff, huh? And the presenter will speak on this one.
Yeah, and this is called the sitting bull reel.
That we're still eating pea soup and meat pies, you know, that's looking at the wrong end. I think it's how we express ourselves.
But every time that you take and you play a number and you improvise, see, you're improvising it, you're composing a tune right there. Let's see.
Bon après-midi, hello. This workshop is a fiddle workshop. As you know, the fiddle is considered to be the king of instruments, at least by people who are of French origin.
Il y a gros qui sont pas bons.
Oui, ils sont bons en haut ou en bas, mais pas les deux.
Le violon qui est bon partout, là, ça coûte de l'argent. Tu sais, ça vaut, c'est une grosse valeur, ça. Hein? C'est dur, c'est mal dit. C'est difficile. Hein? C'est difficile de trouver un violon que tu aimes. Quand tu trouves un violon là, que tu aimes, il a parfaitement pour toi-même. Là. Ça vaut gros de l'argent. Hein? Oui, j'ai jamais trouvé un instrument que j'aimais complètement. As-tu trouvé ton violon complètement?
We're not, restricted to singing French or playing French tunes. I think it's how it comes across. You can't help but not have your background come through in your music. There's no way. It's what you know best.
I'll play a tune from New Brunswick.
Oui, OK.
Okay.
Comment ça s'appelle?
C'est Bouthot Hill. When I learned this tune here, this great fiddler from Don Messer from the Islanders, and when I met this guy, I said, "Would you play me Bouthot Hill?" And he played it to me.
Eh ben.
And that's where I learned it.
I kind of liked my little area of somewhat of York County, not too much traveling and playing for people I know, and that I enjoy it that way. Yeah. To get to the larger festivals and so forth, I don't know. I'm not. I never did really enjoy them, and I just have as much fun with 100 and 150 people in a dance hall, and that's to me is where I have fun.
And they're used to playing for people who also, like them, grew up with that type of music, the French folk songs and the Hank Williams influence together. It's been a mixture for quite a few years.
And the response of the audience is part of the experience.
Pass right shoulders back to back. Now elbow and back. Once and a half, balance and swing your partner.
kermesse means a meeting of the clans. C'est supposé d'être tout le rassemblement de beaucoup de nations. Let's do the Greek dance.
Thank you. Bonsoir.
It's funny how people will request the same songs year after year, and I guess they...
That doesn't bother you playing the same song?
No, sir. No, sir. That's what I'm there for. I'm not there for... If I want to play to please myself, I could just well stay home.
After all these years, do you have any memorable performance at all?
I remember one job we did up in Somersworth. We ran into a downpour, and I had a piano there that we couldn't use for the next 3 weeks. All the felts got really bloated right up. You know, things of that nature, you know, will... and I remember a job we had in Vermont where I think the temperature was somewhere around 32 below. Everything was frozen. And things of that nature you remember, but as far as the performances are concerned, no, they're all okay. I mean, some were better than others, and some you had more fun than others. But you remember the ones that gave you real hard times more. And
I've got some pictures of when I played at the Grand Ole Opera on the stage, a finalist at the Grand Masters. That was in 1980. Yes, that's probably the most memorable one. The one that everybody looks to, you know, that very few get to play there. Just walking on that stage is the honor right there, you know. Actually, I'm more interested in playing with my grandson than anything else.
Takes years to develop the craft. And so a musician like Ben or Toots, who's been playing their music virtually all their lives, there's a quality to it that it's somewhat intangible. You can't really put your finger on it, but it's there. And it's just like a well-aged whiskey or something. It's
well seasoned.
It's, yeah.
oh, each has its time, I guess. You can't fish at night, but you can play at night. Fishing's kind of a disease anyway, you know. There's no cure for it. All you do is go out and fish. That's it. You get it out of your system to a certain extent. And I guess music is the same way. When you need to get it out of your system, you go out and do it, and then you feel better, and that's it. Half of it is timing.
Was it just a musical breakup? Was there a friendship?
Oh, one of artistic differences, I guess you'd want to call it, whatever it is. But it's gone and bye-bye and it's over and nothing to worry about. Yeah.
Do you think you would have split up anyway? Was Washington, D.C. a cause, or?
I don't know really what. There's a lot of unanswered things there, but I think everything's come out for the best, you know. So.
So what would you like in a band? A piano?
Well, I'd like to, yeah, I like a piano. Actually, the band we used to have wasn't that bad, anyway. It was a pretty good combination, I thought. Dick really was very complimentary. Toots was a good singer, and I like that combination we had.
Probably you don't see yourself ever getting together then.
Oh, I don't know. Never's a long time. You know, never know what hangs in the future.
We're going to do a little, somewhat gospel bluegrass thing, all right? So you can hear Ben rattle it off and Dickie squeeze it, and we're going to go home after this, all right?
Well, I was standing by my window one cold and cloudy day when I spotted coming down that road just a cold black-looking herd. May that circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. Well, there's a feather over in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I done told that undertaker, please go slow. For that body you are looking, I just hate to see it go. May that circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. Well, there's a feather away in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Benny! Bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir. Bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir. Bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir mes amis, bonsoir. Bonsoir.
Merci.